Hey guys, happy motivation. Get your motivation. Motivation. Happy day, you guys. My name is Venus Washington. I'm a part of the wellness group in Verona School District. I help out with mindful coaching. So if you guys are in the Verona School District, you guys can book a time with me, a date and time, and I can come into your schools and help you guys practice mindful practices. I'm also a health coach, personal trainer. If you want to book some times with me, you can go to my website at venuswashington.com and you can check out all the services I have there. But let's get into it. So, how do you cope with stress? So, when we are in a stressful situation, what do we do and how do we cope with it? One of the big things about stress, what happens when we're stressed, is the first thing we do is we hold our breath, we tense up, and we get ready to fight. So the first thing, when the signs of where you're really feeling yourself getting stressed, it is to breathe deeply. And when you breathe deeply, you calm the nervous system down. But when we hold our breath, our nervous system starts to fire up, and then we get into fight or flight, and we get ready to run. So in stressful situations, or if you're dealing with stress in general, or you just have low level of stress, the big tool to use is deep breathing. And another thing that I want to talk about is stress in the body. So as an athlete, a college athlete, I used to always get injured. I'll get injured all the time. Like, I pulled my hamstring so many times. I strained my back. I fractured my femur, plantar fasciitis, did some of my wrists. Like, anything you think of, I had a lot of stresses in my body. And one thing that I've noticed, like, once I healed from that stress, I kept replaying that over and over because I was scared it was going to happen again. So not only when we have stresses in our body, when we have stresses in our life, what we do is we replay them over and over again. So I noticed myself just as getting hurt all the time because it was just afraid. I was scared. I was moving in a certain way. I wasn't as confident because I was scared I was going to get hurt. And then what happened? I did get hurt. So that's kind of the pattern of living in a stressful state all the time. So one way that I helped myself as a college athlete to break from that, my senior year is when I finally had like a healthy year and I got some results, was I decided that I wanted to change my story. So before, I kept on thinking that I was an injured athlete. Like, that's just what I did. That's just something that happens because every season I was always injured. And so the last season I said, I'm no longer an injured athlete. I'm a strong, capable athlete, and I go after my goals and I conquer them. So one of the things to get out of the stress pattern of us living over the same thing over and over again is to set your standards to a different standard. If you're always having these triggers in some situations where things are happening outside your control and you're really having a really hard time dealing with it, you're taking your deep breaths, but you're still really feeling stressed about it, change your standard of how you see things and how you perceive stressful situations. What are your perspectives when you see when things happen that you don't want to happen? Maybe you have a coworker that doesn't like you. Change your perspective and your view of how you see that situation so you can show up in a different manner where it does not actually really fade you. If that's your standard of living, if you go in and say, when someone acts this way, I don't react to that because that's the standard that I set for myself. So that's another way of dealing with stress, to get out of that same pattern of the way that we were thinking. I told myself I wasn't no longer an injured athlete. I told myself that I was a healthy, capable athlete that can go after their goals. So what are the standards? What are the things that you're setting for yourself when it comes to these stresses in your life? How are you approaching it? Because we all have stresses in our life. It's how you approach it and how you deal with it. So let's all take a deep breath together. Inhale. Exhale. Let it go and raise your standards. My name is Venus Washington. Hopefully this video was beneficial. You guys have a great day. Peace.